I see you people up there. Pay attention. Well, thank you for coming out tonight. We are TXNORML, and we hold this open meeting on the first Wednesday of every month here at Flamingo Cantina. It's nice to see so many new faces here tonight, because that means that all the outreach and the activism that we've been working so hard on over the last year is working, because you're here and you're ready to get excited and active in what's going to be going on in Texas in the next 2 to 4 years. So let's get started with going over what's been happening recently. So first off, we had the legislative section in 2013, and we prepared for it with our Take a Step Texas campaign. Texas is one of the few states that doesn't have ballot initiative. We also have to change our drug laws at the state level because of a law that was enacted in 1997. So it really matters that we contact our representatives and let them know how we feel about cannabis law, because they are how we're going to change the laws in this state. We don't have ballot initiative, and our legislators have to change it for us at the state level. So we have to be up at the Capitol, calling and visiting, making sure they know what we think about it. So what we did with Take a Step Texas was we created the legislator education packet, and we teamed up our activists with their representatives, and we got them to go and deliver this education packet along with the scientific applications book, so that there's no longer an excuse that our representatives are uneducated. You can actually check out the legislative packet up at our table. It's fully bibliographied. It's got great scientific resources, so you should definitely take one home with you. Another reason that we stay active politically is the representatives, as I mentioned, but because you have to vote these people in, we want you to know who can you vote for that supports cannabis law reform, who wants decriminalization, who wants medical. So in 2012, we did our first ever TXNORML Voters Guide, and we're planning to do one again this year. So when you cast your vote in November, you can make sure that you're voting for someone who supports cannabis law reform here in Texas.
Right.
Yeah. We also held our activist training day in February. It's where we get all of our directors and our officers together, and we educate our activists on how they can be effective, what the laws are, how we try to change them, how you can call your representative, email them, and then also we kind of educated them about what kind of groups does TXNORML have. I don't know if you know, but we have an athletic group, we have a patient group, we have a veterans group, we have a seniors group. And does that apply to anybody here? Would anybody be interested in getting involved with that? We also held our first ever lobby day, and we learned a lot of really important lessons that day, but we also came out in force. We were organized, and I think that we made a really good impression on people that we're not going away. We want these laws to change, and we know that we have to be here to make that happen. So make sure in 2015 you stay tuned to our lobby day so that you can be at the Capitol and you can say you lobbied to change the laws here in Texas. So what bills did we have? There were 2 bills that we had in 2013. One was for decriminalization and one was for medical. So we had HB 184, and this was Representative Harold Dutton's bill that he introduced. It would amend the penalties for minor marijuana possession to a Class C misdemeanor. Currently, possession of 2 ounces is a Class B misdemeanor, and that means you can get 180 days in jail and a $2,000 fine. So that is not okay. We don't think anyone should be in jail, boo, ever, for cannabis. This actually had a really great hearing, and it passed out of committee with a bipartisan vote of 6 for, and 3 against. So that means that we have talking points that both the Democrats and the Republicans are resonating with, and that is important. Then we have HB 594. This has been introduced by Representative Elliot Neistat, and what this would do is it would allow a patient, if arrested, to have an affirmative defense. And it would also protect doctors from losing their license if they discuss cannabis with their patients. So it was an affirmative defense bill in that it would give you protection, but it wasn't a medical bill as in these listed conditions would be covered. It was very late in the session. When we went to committee, the hearing went on until 2 in the morning with dozens of really dedicated patients staying through the whole night to be able to give their testimony. There was a lot of interest by the representatives, but there were thousands and thousands of bills filed at Capitol Hill. I think it was something in the end like 6,000 bills or something. And ours was just one of those. And unfortunately, it died in that committee and it didn't make it any farther. But in the 8 years I've been doing this, and in the 10 years that these bills have been getting introduced, this is the most positive reaction that we have ever gotten. There were representatives on the criminal jurisprudence hearing that were actually making our arguments for us, telling the other people how criminalization of marijuana is wrong and uneducated. So it was very empowering, and it bodes well for the future. We just have to continue making sure that we have bipartisan talking points that reach out to both sides of the aisle. Also, TXNORML went through a really big change in the summer. Many of you probably know Josh Schimberg, our former executive director. He's a hell of a guy. We love him. He had to step down for personal reasons, and Cheyenne Weldon has become our new executive director. And me, I'm Jack Spinkle. I'm the new deputy director. We had been working with Josh for years, and he's dearly missed, but still active. And it brings me great pride that he trusts Cheyenne and I with this organization, and that he thinks that we're going to continue to lead it in the right way. And I guarantee you we're going to stay dedicated to this reform of laws in Texas. We're not going to give up. No one is free when one of us is chained. So we have to keep fighting. Also in June, the ACLU published a report about marijuana in black and white, and it was based on a 10-year study. So cannabis usage is essentially the same between the races, but you find that nationwide blacks are 4 times more likely to be arrested than whites. So on July 11th, our executive director, Cheyenne Weldon, was invited to the San Antonio NAACP chapter to speak at their monthly meeting, and they showed the shocking reports from the ACLU. There was quite a bit of good question and answer, and I think that we can say that they definitely would like to see decriminalization move forward in the state based on what their group is based on. In addition, that same night, our legal counsel, Jamie Spencer, was interviewed by the local Fox affiliate, and he discussed the ACLU and the NAACP, and they were represented in the piece as well. Cheyenne also has been in contact with the Austin NAACP, and they are also supportive of the change in laws. So we know that the San Antonio chapter and the Austin chapter of the ACLU want TXNORML to be successful in their pursuits.
Okay.
They want us to be successful so much so that they let us purchase some advertising space for their annual Freedom Banquet. It was on December 14th, and so we purchased an ad, and it went in their pamphlet, and it was shown to over 550 people. And those are going to be very active people. If they're going to a conference, you know that they're getting out there and they're getting active. So it's really important that we continue to reach out to other organizations that share the same goals or the same purpose, or that are affected by these laws. So we have to make sure that we continue to reach out, and if you know of any organizations that would like to have us come and speak to them, definitely let us know, because we need to educate as many people as possible. We also started holding strategy meetings. So strategy meetings are on the 3rd Wednesday of every month, and they're at varying locations throughout the greater Austin area. We have this meeting, and it's great because it's always in the same place, same time, but not everybody can get here, or it's a little late. So we decided that we needed to open it up to more people so that they can come. And the more that people come and get involved, the more they understand how they can change the laws. They can maybe meet and talk with the board more, or network amongst their own activists to be more socially active in the cannabis reform. Also in August, Austin Police Chief Art Acevedo confirmed his support of the U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder's change in stance on mandatory minimums. Basically, Holder no longer thinks that mandatory minimums are fair or just, and Art Acevedo agrees with that. In fact, he said, "I think that if you talk to all of my colleagues around the country, most of us feel that addicts who are addicted to drugs, they're users, but aren't the ones poisoning our kids by being drug dealers in the streets, that we are better served trying to get them treatment and breaking that cycle of addiction." Art Acevedo also said that his priority is violent crime. "I'd rather not tie up an officer with somebody with a small quantity of marijuana. In the meantime, someone's hiding in their closet. They broke in. I'd rather free them up to deal with that imminent threat to public safety." And I think that's where the focus should be. These are nonviolent offenders who are not hurting anybody. They are usually partaking in the solitude of their home, and they don't deserve to be criminalized in this manner. If you think about it, a lot of people get arrested for just a joint. Let's say that's a gram of cannabis inside of it. Did you know that a gram of cannabis is a spoonful of cannabis? It's a spoonful. Yet they will spend $10,000 to prosecute you for that spoonful of cannabis. But in 2012, they can only afford to spend $8,492 to educate one child for 1 year. For each of these nonviolent offenders that we are wasting our money prosecuting on, we could be more thoroughly educating more children. In other big news, Executive Director Rob Campia from MPP has moved to Austin, and he is working on a multi-year plan for Texas. He says, and I quote, "It's inevitable that we're going to win. We're going to look at the Texas project as a multi-year plan." And we agree with him, and we are actually working with MPP and other organizations to work on a lobby campaign. And basically what's happened is a California donor has pledged $100,000 to help legalize cannabis in Texas, and we are tasked to match those funds. So for every dollar that TXNORML or MPP raises, that California donor is going to also be donating $1 because he wants to see change here too. Yeah. It's got to come, and we need to lobby, we need to be official, we need to make it real. And how we do this is putting our money where our mouth is. So if you'd like to make a donation tonight, we do have donation envelopes at the table over there, so take a look and check it out. We think that we've proven through our grassroots organization, our ability to endure and succeed through these really tough conservative political climate, that we're ready for this. We're a good grassroots organization. We want to help people learn how to enable themselves to be good activists. So we're really excited to hopefully see change come to Texas by 2017. And we think if we work hard, that's a realistic goal. There's also an annual border legislative conference, and it was held in September. There was a senator there, Senator Jose Rodriguez of El Paso, and he is the first Texas state senator that has come out to publicly support marijuana law reform. So that's a big deal. In addition, at this conference, Cheyenne was invited to speak, and she spoke on a panel called Overview of Marijuana Initiatives and Legislation. We were really honored to be included in this. This is a very important event where policies are made and standards are set, and it speaks volumes that we were invited there. And you know what else speaks volumes? No one was there to speak against it. There were only people there in support. That's a huge change. That is the waves of change lapping at the edges of Texas saying, let us in. So we need to prepare the floodgates to open.
We're ready.
We are too. We're past ready, girl. In addition, while Cheyenne was there, she arranged to have an El Paso meetup group And from that meetup, there was some news coverage, and now there's an El Paso chapter starting there, so we're really happy. Yeah, we've had a couple new chapters start this year. There's also a group called Texans for Accountable Government, or TAG, and they awarded Cheyenne an award for excellence in professionalism and progress at our September meeting. They're a great group to work with. And Cheyenne and I traveled up to DFW. There's a DFW NORML up there, and we spoke at an open meeting they have quite a bit like this, and we talked about, you know, the strategy to change the laws, why we have to do it this way, and how we're going to do it. So we're taking all of these great activism tools that we have, and we're trying to share them statewide. It's a puff, puff, pass type of thing.
Yeah.
Take it and pass it along.
Oh, yeah.
Also, TXNORML and 420 have proudly announced Patients Alliance for Cannabis Therapeutics, aka PACT. This has been founded, it's a great group. This has been founded by Vincent Lopez. He's our Director of Patient Outreach. And basically the objective is to expand patient outreach, encourage patient empowerment, and educate fellow patients regarding etiquette, discipline, and advocacy. So it's a support group, but it's a support group with a purpose. The purpose is to get these patients ready to talk about their story to legislators. There needs to be a face to medical cannabis. People need to see that these laws are negatively affecting people. And our patients are front and center there. They don't have another day to just wait. They're sick and they need their medicine now. And there's also Congressman Steve Stockman. He has signed on as a co-sponsor for the federal bill called Respect State Marijuana Laws Act. So now there's 19 co-sponsors and one of them's from Texas. So does that sound like a pretty epic year to you?
Hell yeah!
I'm not done. So there was more. In addition to us doing all that, we threw a lot of events to help us raise funds to do these activities. We did a Team THC Run for the Money, which is a 5K crosswalk. We also did a 13K Team Hope Through Cannabis Alamo Walk. Then there was the Statesman Capital 10K for Team Hope Through Cannabis. So if y'all like to run, you need to talk to Greg from Team THC. He's pretty awesome. We also were a part of the Texas Libertarian Party Liberty and Legislature panel. We had Eeyore's birthday flash mob, which we will be doing again. You'll find us at Reggae. It was fun. You people were there. And also, every year we are part of the Reggae Fest. That's one of our big events. You will always find our tent there. We had our NORML Women's Alliance Family Friendly Meetup, and we did that at the Capitol. We also had a NORML Regional Conference in DFW, and Cheyenne did a presentation on forming unusual allies and breaking stereotypes. We also were a part of the Reefer Madness the musical, and they did like 16 shows. I think we were there for like 14 of them. It's crazy. Our volunteers are dedicated. We also did some fun stuff like meeting up at the Austin Aztecs soccer match. That was a Team THC event. And then we held our super fabulous TXNORML annual members mixer. If you haven't been, you are not living. It is awesome. You need to come. We also hold our annual 6th Street Smokeout, and we participated in the Race for the Cure as well. In addition, we held these monthly meetings each month, and we also held our strategy meetings on the 3rd Wednesday of each month. So now, is that an epic year?
Yeah.
So that's how we put your membership, your donations, when you purchase our merchandise, that's how we put your money to work. We do real things with it. We try to affect change laws, we organize hearings, we do a lot of different things. And one of those things is our new Senior Alliance. And we have someone here to talk about it today. We have Dawn and Deb. They are our administrators for our TXNORML Senior Alliance. And I'd like to ask her to come up and tell you a little bit about it. They're going to have their first meetup soon.
I am old. Very old. Seniors were never like that when I was young. I'm Dawn Brooks, and Deb Martin, I don't know where she is, but Deb Martin was supposed to be here tonight. And basically, she and I and Betty Grimes and a couple other people are getting together to put together a senior alliance. And it's not going to just be for seniors. What we want to do is make it a very inclusive group. But we're primarily looking for folks of the older age who may have been born in the 40s, 50s, and grew up in the 60s and 70s. And you know who you are. And so essentially we grew up in a time where, you know, having cannabis around was really not a big deal, and now it is. So what we need to do is get folks out and making sure that they get involved and making sure that even though they're over 55, they've got the time, they've got the resources, they don't necessarily need to have to worry about losing a job. And so, you know, we're really, really hoping to get a lot of folks who may be in the closet, out of the closet. And hopefully you may know somebody, whether it be a grandmother or your parents or an aunt, uncle, if you're a caretaker, if you don't know how to talk to seniors about the advantages of cannabis, we're the people to see, because we'll help you. And we've been there. We will help you. We also want to also get involved with all the other groups that are currently involved. We want to help out with PACT. We want to help out with the Veterans Group. We also want to get involved with the Women's Alliance. Anywhere that we can go to address the need of getting seniors out, that's where we're going to be. Because we really, really need to hit this demographic. And if you know of any group, if you know of any organization that would be willing to hear us, and they're over 55, believe me, we're going to hit Sun City. And we do. When we hit Sun City, guys, you'll be smelling it. We also have a Facebook page, and we really encourage all of you to go out and take a look at our Facebook page. It's TXNORML Senior Alliance, and please like us. We like you, so like us. And you know, really, we'll keep you informed as to what's going on with us. And if you have any relevant articles that you want to post, please feel free. We will monitor them, but you know, bottom line is we know you're good for it. We also have an email address if you want to send in questions to us at seniors@normal, texasnormal.org. Okay, so the planned events that we have, like I said, we're going to support all the upcoming events that the other groups have. We really, really would like to perhaps get the movie Should Grandma Smoke Pot? Nice. And, so we have a way of, we have an in, I hear we have an in.
Right.
Somewhere we have an in.
Exactly. Always.
Yeah, right, always. So bottom line, that's one of the things we'd really like to do at one of these meetings is show the movie and maybe have a fundraiser. We don't really know right now, but that's what we're looking at. Our first meeting is upcoming in February. Be February 8th at the Opal Divines Marina, which is off of Mopac. And really easily accessible, and we'd love to see you there. And it will be on our page. It's from 2 to 4:30. Short meeting. Dave Bass from our Veterans Group. Dave will be there. And he will be giving a short presentation on the veterans and seniors and how they all interact, because there's a lot of stuff going on with the Veterans Group that would impact the people who are over 55. So please join us, whether it be at a meeting or on Facebook. Say hi to us. If you have any questions, see myself or Deb or Betty or anyone of you folks that are there. And basically, we're encouraging to participate, legislate, and end prohibition.
Should grandma smoke marijuana? I think she wants to. So after having such an awesome 2013, I would like to tell you a few things that we have planned for 2014. So obviously today, here we are at our fabulous open meeting, starting the new year off right. Thank you for coming. This Friday, we are also going to an event for Web Hosting Co-op. It's at Haven. And basically, Web Hosting Co-op is a transparent, socially democratic internet web hosting cooperative. There's going to be music and comedy, and Cheyenne Weldon will be speaking as well. That's going to be on the 11th at 8 o'clock. Then we've got our monthly strategy meeting on the third Wednesday, that's the 15th, and it's going to be at Mi Madre's restaurant on Manor. And this is where we just get together with really dedicated activists and hash out, what we're going to do. Then we have Mothers Against Teen Violence. They're having a drug policy conference. This is going to be in Dallas. And again, Cheyenne is going to be a panelist on the 18th at 1:20. Then we have our next PACT, Patients Alliance for Cannabis Therapeutics meeting. That's going to be on the 23rd of this month from 2 to 5 at Genuine Joe's on Anderson Lane. We've got a 5K on the 26th. You can see Greg about all that information. Then our next open meeting will be on the 5th, and I won't name every date that we're going to have it, but if it's the first Wednesday of the month, we're here, so come on by. In addition, we have the Senior Alliance meetup. That'll be on February 8th at Opal Divines. Then we're planning our next activist training day. It's not a legislative year this year, but it doesn't hurt to get prepared and get ready, because we want to make it happen and happen fast. So come see us on February 22nd at Cepeda Library Branch. Then we've got the High Time Doobie Awards. Oh yeah. South by Southwest time. It's tentatively set for the 16th as for now, but stay tuned for more information. And then we're going to be doing a Team Hope Through Cannabis golf and music benefit for our Veterans Summit, and it's going to be held at Willie Nelson's Cut and Cut in Spicewood. It's going to be awesome. Of course, we'll be there for the Reggae Fest. If you got your membership at Reggae Fest last year so that your membership card read 420, you can come and renew. And then we'll be doing another Eeyore's Birthday Flash Mob on 4/26. Then, have you heard of the Texas Marijuana March? We participate. This is a global marijuana march, and we show our support and solidarity by having a march here, and that will be on May 3rd. Then we're having a regional conference hosted by DFW, and that's going to be in Dallas. And we're going to have our own first annual TXNORML Veterans Summit on 7/19. It's going to be at the Carver Library. We're really excited to bring that event to you. And there's much more. So did you guys write that all down?
Yes.
Oh yeah! You're awesome! So I also want to start 2014 with some gratitudes. I would like to thank my husband, Matt. He's not here tonight, but he makes this possible. We are totally volunteer run. Yay, Matt, my baby loves you clapping. But we're an educational nonprofit. We're a 501c4, and we're all volunteers. We all do it because we believe it, and we love it, and we want to make it happen and give you guys the freedom to do with your body as you want. Whether you decide to medicate or recreate, it's your body, you govern it. I would also like to thank Cheyenne Weldon. We joke that she's my wifey, but really she's my co-wife. But she really does empower me and other people to be more active. She may spoon feed us a little bit, but we love you, Mama Bear. And our directors and officers, real quick, just so you know who they are. We've got Vincent Lopez, our Director of Patient Outreach. Jamie Spencer, he's our TXNORML legal counsel. If you're in a pinch, he's the guy to see. David Bass is our Veterans Liaison. Greg, who I mentioned before, is our athletic coordinator for Team THC. Rick is our historian, and he is actually videotaping this today for it to go on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Good to see you. Then we've got Rita, who's our treasurer. Betty, who's our new volunteer coordinator. We've got Heidi, who works social outreach. Dave and Topher, who work events for us. Bridget and Lori, who ship all of our merchandise. Bless you. We have another Bridget, she's our secretary, and then Amy Jo is our membership coordinator. So thank you to our members, thank you to our activists, thank you for the other organizations who help promote us and help support us. We couldn't do it without you. We are each a bit of the machine, and if we each do our job, it will run perfectly. So let's run this machine down to the Capitol and change these cannabis laws. So, it's that time of night where we all go visit the patio, and then we'll be back shortly and we'll have some comedy brought to us by the outlaw Montgomery Wayne. And that'll be followed up by some awesome grooves by the Mau Mau Chaplains. Thank you for coming. Wait.
I just want to say, I know we usually do like a recap of the news that's been happening around the country, around the world, or studies, and we didn't really do that because we want to give you a recap of everything local and what we're doing. But I just have to say, if somebody asks you, where can I get marijuana? Colorado! And you're gonna come to Texas!
And did you see this fly hoodie that I'm wearing? It's new, and it's only available here tonight. Go get some merchandise, y'all. Thank you very much.
When my work is over, I'll fly away home. Lord, what bright morning, when my work is over, I will fly away home. One bright morning, when my work is over, I'll fly away home. We'll be right back. Stick around.